Hello and welcome to the very first quest in Winds of Change hard mode. This is Cleansing Bukdek Byway. This is definitely one of the easiest ones. I literally just did this, but my mic was muted, which is completely my fault, so I'm just going to redo it. It'd just be faster to do that than like re-record the audio. So this is the 7-man factions only profession limit 2 playthrough that I'm doing. Basically, I might as well go over some strategy you can use. Like, let's say you're having a hard time doing this, even just playing the game normally, because sometimes Winds of Change can just destroy you. So let's say you're running an ST, which you probably are. Always flag your ST back. Always put it on flee. You can run Mighty Wes of Horizon to give it more energy, make it more tanky, because, when it gets attacked, which it generally does, unless it's kind of far back, it's good for it to be as tanky as possible. And also, you probably want it running 16 communing. Alright, so flag your ST, flag your BIP if you're running one. If not, just flag your healers kind of in front of your ST. You kind of have your ST back a little bit further. And then, of course, you can always have your front line in the front. In this case, these are like my mid-liners. Alright, so I'm actually going to pull these. I'm just going to aggro them. Alright, so I'm just going to tank for a second. Have them waste some of their skills. Alright, now I'm going to go towards the enemy backline. And this is what this build does. So you DPS, get some skills off. Then you nuke. Oh, they've actually killed my destruction for me. Alright. So I just cast destruction. And then blow it up with Rupture Soul. And then I use Spirit Rift for extra damage, and some assassin skills to tank. Actually just wasted that. Alright, so I'm going to Spirit Rift this monk. I'm just going to wait for energy. Okay, that was pretty fat. Pretty fat damage. Alright, for some reason... Oh, okay, I must be out of range of the of my ST. I actually can pull energy off of Spirit Siphon when I Spirit Siphon, like in the STs nearby, like that, which is nice. So you don't only have to use it when you're near destruction. In this case, the case of this build, so it's not bad. All right, so this is just the general build though. You just like get fat burst damage and then blow your destruction up. You can recast it because you have soul twisting. All right, warrior's still alive. This is probably going to not even hit before it dies. Alright, so the basic formation you can use, I'm using a 7-man team with factions only skills. For a lot of these groups is you can put your frontliners spread out like this. These are probably within the area of each other, like the middle and the sides, which is okay. You can have them more spread out, and then you want your back line here, and then you usually want your ST even further back. An ST can actually be like over here. The problem with it, though, if you're a player, you can play like this. Like, if you're a player ST, like using soul twisting to use shelter, union, and displacement, or whatever third or, optionally third spirit you want, you can play, like, over there. Spirit range is insane, so, like, check this out. You can straight up ST for, like, out of combat the entire fight. So you can see here's, like, the range. The range is roughly that. It's like this distance. So the further you go out, it kind of ends right there. But you can ST very far away. Now, obviously, if I like went deep in the in the enemy back line, I want my ST to be like at least here. So you can kind of see. So I can actually attack the back line. But that's a way of keeping your ST safe. I'm not too sure about the range of Spirit Siphon. I think it might be compass range. Let's actually test this. Actually, no, it's not. This is the video. I'm like getting into like random skills. All right, so yeah, you can always flag your Soul Twister out of combat or like furthest back. The reason for this is if enemies have access to it, especially in Winds of Change, there's a lot of like splinter weapon builds and like scythe builds and spammy AoE damage. They'll just take your Soul Twister. They'll take your Soul Twister down like almost immediately. Alright, so this area, you can kind of see there's enemies wandering like over here, and over here. But there's 2 physical pillars here. Enemies will ball up after time, like they'll kind of just run in. So if you want to aggro when they do that, that's ideal. You can also force them to get like funneled in. So like this pillar will force all the enemies off to the side of it to kind of like go. So if I like stand like here, let's flag my dudes. You can kind of force the enemies to funnel into you. And you can stagger your heroes too. Like you can put my minion master here, put my mesmer forward, and then I'll put my, kind of arrange them like that. This will interrupt things, so that's why it's forward. Alright, so what I will do now is pull these, drop destruction, so it's going to cook. Takes like up to 6 seconds to fully get going. And just nuke it. Alright, now I'm going to go directly into their backline, and then I'll leave the flags up for now. We have some minions coming in, so they're going to be a little bit distracted by those. So I can get some good damage off with this build. Okay, I'm not within range of my ST spirits. Still not. Okay, so in my case, I actually don't want my ST far back because of this build. Because what I can do is I can actually leech energy off of my ST. So like when I nuke my destruction, yeah, I can catch energy from my Soul Twister's spirits, which is very useful. It helps me keep my offense up. So this is a really weird and unique build. Usually when you use soul twisting, you don't use it in this way. This is just kind of like for fun, and also for factions only. This is actually a really good build, as you can see by the damage I'm putting out. Now it's not as good as a glaive build. I think glaive is way more consistent. It is good though. Like it's definitely not a bad build. Alright, so it's the second group. So this quest is quite easy. There's just 3 groups of Afflicted. You can pretty much use different choke points for each group. So depending on what you're running or what you want to do, generally speaking, choke points are amazing. Forcing enemies to come at you from an angle, like when they're forced around physical terrain, is the easiest way to get them to ball up, especially when they're kind of spread out or there's a lot of them. Enemy backliners will ball up on each other because in order to get in casting range, they all have to be a certain distance from you, which is this distance here, from here to my other writ. And it's denoted by the circle. It's like your aggro and casting range. So alright, the final group is quite easy. All you have to do is just use this ramp to funnel them all into you. Now, obviously, if you're running a BIP, you always want to flag your BIP behind your team. The only case you don't want to do that is if you're running like a shit ton of mesmers that all have shutdown, in which case you can probably just do whatever you want. But in the case of like an average playthrough or a normal balanced team comp, you always want your BIP kind of far back with like your healers. The reason for this is they spike themselves down by a third of their health constantly, and they can go really low and just easily get one shot. So, alright, so check this out. You have a ramp. So if I pull these enemies, they'll have to come up this ramp to get to us, right? And then this physical, like, post or whatever the hell, like almost like gate-like structure is also physical, so they can get stuck on that. So I'm actually going to put my Soul Twister here. Actually, maybe there. And the idea behind this is if rangers come up, they can't shoot through this, so they have to like reroute all the way. So that forces all, like even the casters, to play in a bad position, which is ideal for my team. I'm going to keep all these dudes kind of far back. I could have them more spread out, but I want to still be able to catch some, not heals, but catch some energy off of my Soul Twister. So I'm going to have my Mesmer. Well, let's put these, put this here. Put you there, put you forward. Sorry, put you forward. All right. So these are all within nearby of each other. I usually don't recommend doing this because it's like if AoE hits them that hits nearby, it can kill all or some of them. I think this one's actually not nearby to this. This is like roughly adjacent. This is like roughly nearby. So they might be okay, but I think they're kind of tall, so it's kind of hard to tell. But I'm going to pull these. They're going to get funneled in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of like... You can pull with a longbow. I just don't feel like it. Ooh, let's get the fuck out. Alright, I'm going to drop destruction. Looks like our dude's about to get messed up. That's fine. Alright, I'm just going to blind all those. Alright, I'm going to stop dropping things down here. They're going to start funneling in. So you can kind of see they're like lined up. So like as they try to approach my team, they have to approach us in a line, which is literally the worst formation you can use in this game, because what happens is as they collapse down, they just rapidly die. So that's great for me. Like you can see how they're starting to collapse in. They're already in a line. These two are like perfectly on top of each other, so I can just drop a destruction here and just go to town. I can hit them with Spirit Rift, which normally requires things to be quite close, but in this case is very strong. I'm just going to cancel flags so everything moves forward. I just used that without... Oh no, I still had soul twisting. I'm good. Alright, just going to catch some energy from other spirits. This works on enemy spirits too. And every time you soul twist something, it's a fresh spirit as well. Oh, it looks like that warrior just killed... just killed my monk. Oh, probably this LA as well. Alright. Alright, that's that quest done. So... What I could have done, if I wanted them to collapse better, is like have my team more backward, like more back here, and then kind of keep pulling them. The problem is this stupid guy kind of kept them half pulled. Like there was some here where these bodies are, and then like the one here. So like if they would have collapsed, it would have been a much cleaner thing, but my monk ended up dying. I am going to replace this monk probably with maybe an LE healer, actually. Like a prod LE healer. We'll have to see. He's actually going to be getting removed, or one of my warriors is, because I can run 2 of, so I'm probably going to run 2 LEs, and maybe even a second Mesmer for the 7-man, but I still have to finish the thing on my main, so I have to beat the Profession Limit 1 final confrontation, which I've almost beaten a few times, so once that happens, I'll change my team comp slightly. But yeah, that's the end of this one. Thanks for checking it out. This is the 7-man Rit video. So if I can beat this mission, you can easily beat Winds of Change. So yeah, see you in the next one.